Okay, a big shout out to my UPS driver today. He very patiently waited for the payment via PayPal for the customs fee. It's a consequence of the Brexit, I guess. Thank you, Toman, for getting it here in time. Let's have a quick look to see what's in the box. Oh, that's a bit interesting. I'm just going to rip that, boys and girls. Yeah. I'm going to throw that on the floor. So what we should have, if I don't fall over, is some gear. I did also earlier try to order something. I had all problems with my Bartley card and Bartley card secure. So we got another bag. This one is what, an E-bass gig bag. Fantastic, I ordered the right one. So this is going to go in a 5-string bass, which I have earlier. Another set of strings. This was to take the price for the free delivery, but of course nowadays with Brexit it seems that what happens is that you get like free delivery from Toman, but then the import, if it's below a certain or over a certain price, the tax is paid on the delivery. It's all complicated. And these are what I've gone for, bass pickups. These are going to go into my EMG, sorry, they are EMGs, they go into my SX 5-string. I'm playing on my daughter's wedding on Saturday, and Paul is using a E flat in his he's chosen the key B flat rather than B, so instead of the low E we need an E flat, and it just doesn't sound right if you move it on the neck. So I'm going to use my fretless bass. Let's just check that they're the J5s, J5 set. So I'm going to use the fretless set, and this should more or less fit, but I might have to do a bit of work. So let's go and find out if it fits into the guitar. Yeah, so it's my daughter's wedding at the weekend and I'll be playing bass there. One of the leaders has decided to play Blessed Be Your Name in B flat, and on a normal 5-string that would be your B, F sharp, G sharp, E. But it's gone down, so now we need to play up here the B flat, F, G, E flat. And the thing is, obviously on the 5-string with the lower B we can do that and we get the range of the bass, otherwise it just sounds wrong. But let's now have a quick look here. If I turn the pedal onto a mode I want to play it into, you can hear the noise level's gone up. Yeah, and it's a bit microphonic. If I move the strap, can you hear it? So the pickups in this mode have gone. So this pedal allows me to add in, what is it, extra things like dual compressor. And the reason I've got it on is because here you see I can turn on the pitch shifter. And the reason I'm using the pitch shifter is because although Paul wants to play in B flat, no problem, when you play along online it's in B. So I either play up one and then I get used to the wrong fingering. Well, what's wrong with moving up a fret? Nothing, except some of the other ones he wants to play, or we want to play, are moved down 3 semitones or 4 or so. So it's much easier for me to set this pedal to play, to translate the pitch we're going to play in to the pitch that is available online, so I can practice along and don't make mistakes. But then I get this whole sort of noise thing coming in. And maybe I don't have the ZNR on, to be fair. I don't have the ZNR. I could put a ZNR on and that would actually reduce the noise. But so the ZNR is the zoom noise reduction. I could use that. I mean, instead of a Fender Bassman simulation or a limiter. But at the moment, the pitch shift is on there. I need it for practice. I don't need it in the day. So in fact, I'm hesitating here because I could just use a ZNR. But you know, the exciter is a good sort of pedal setting which can give you a bit more bass, so when you're doing some sort of slide you get that wider noise. And this is, by the way, that's with the tone down, and it's yeah, if I put the volume up it becomes really obvious how microphonic it is. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, the stock pickups on the SX are pretty good, but you still get noise out of it. I made an earlier video with the noise coming out of the bridge, so I'm going to stick the EMGs in. I have those on the green cheap J&D bass and they're fantastic, so I've gone for the 5 set. So what I'm going to do now is to turn off line, see how they fit. They should be reasonable fit, but I might need to route out a little bit. It's got the quick release strings, the vintage tuners, so that makes it slightly easier. I don't really want to pop the neck. And the setup's quite nice, so then I can get on with practicing, and hopefully it will take the pedal better. There'll be less noise from the EMGs, and there's something about, you know, I'm using the exciter on here to make the pulse or the bass frequencies a bit more resonant on this guitar from the pickups. Generally the EMG does it as a matter of course for free. Well, I say for free, you pay for them, but I got them from Thomanns. Originally I ordered them from DV247 in the UK. They said they had them in stock. This turned out to be not quite right. Then we had to cancel it, which is a pain in the ass. I mean, six weeks to give me no update in spite of phoning. We went to Thomann. It's turned up really quickly. The only problem just now, and really want to shout out good thanks to the UPS driver for being very patient, you have to pay an import fee. And it's a real pain in the ass with PayPal, etc. I was using my works computer that can't talk to my printer. Pain in the ass, unbelievable. I mean, Thomann, you do a great job of sending all the information telling us that the thing's on the way, it's 2 stops away, etc. Really, really good. But maybe it'd be a good idea to send up front, by the way, you'll be expected to pay £46 customs or whatever it was, yeah? Because then I can go through the process earlier and get ready for it, yeah? Have it all ready to go and not save the driver. You know, the poor driver's just doing his job, quite rightly. And there was a bit of a Mexican standoff, but I've got the pickups now, he's got that. I'll stop ranting on and I'll get on with this install. See you later. Okay, so we got the basin situation. Let's just take the first thing I bought was the this is the case you get, or I got with the SX. It's okay, but it's just basically a dust cover. So, you know, if it's your first guitar, and these are really meant for starters, but they're pretty good. These are the strings that are on it, the labellas, lovely strings. So it's just a dust cover, yeah, it doesn't do much. I used to be quite precious about my guitars, and then I watched Billy Sheehan and he just changed my mind. It's just a tool. So well done, Billy. Let me just get this out. So this is the Thomann Deluxe gig bag, and it hopefully will fit the 5-string. It fits the 4-string. Let's find out. Could be a bit embarrassing. But that goes in. That goes in. That goes in. That goes in. Yep. That fits. That fits. Perfect. Oh no, not quite. Not quite. It does work. So what I really like about these bags, you've got up here where you can put your instrument cables. Then you've got 3 pouches here. So in the front you can put your... I'm going to be putting the battery in it. So I might put a little mini screwdriver, spare battery, that sort of thing. In the next pocket I can put the zoom pedal and any power supplies. In fact, now I tend to use those USB data banks you use for your phone here. They're really quiet. Battery is much better than mains, boys and girls, yeah. And then in here you can put all your sheet music or whatever, or you know, if you have a tablet, take that with you. So it's really cool. The only thing missing, as I said in a previous video, is something to hang your coffee off, and something to hang the bass stand off. But anyway, let's get on with this. So as ever, don't do much editing, don't do much planning. If you don't like that, I'm sorry, but you already know the score with this channel. Let's put that like that. I'm going to be using the electric screwdriver. My wife kleptoed my original screwdriver. She said she didn't, but she did. And oh, actually, let's start with first things first. I saw someone installed a boiler in my house. They did a lovely job, but they didn't check that all the parts first. So let's use the scalpel to open the EMGs up. Right, there's something about EMGs that I really like. I guess because I'm a child of the 80s. Let's get that open without killing myself. There we go. I actually tidied up in here. So I found the bin. So I know where to put stuff now. Some nice person commented on how untidy it was, and another one said he liked the untidiness. And I'm not a tidy person. I'm a creative person. So what we should have in here theoretically, and I've realized now I forgot to order new knobs, because in my original video I said you need new knobs, and I don't think I've got any spares. I can make the joke, the spare prick at the wedding, yeah? My daughter's wedding on the weekend. like I said, we're playing in a different key, and I want that lowness in order to hit those notes and have a bit of fun. Otherwise I'll pull out the 4 string and do it that way. Right, okay, there's the pickups. Remember last time I did this, oh, I put it in shot actually. Last time I did this, there's two sizes. There used to be a long and a short, yeah. Let's see with the 5 string. I never had this one before. Oh, this one says SJ5, this one says L5. So my assumption is the long is the back and the short is the front. I'll put those, and last time I did this I kept losing everything, yeah, because I'd put it somewhere and not find it. I'm going to put them directly in front of me here, and then when I watch it back I'll realize how stupid I am. Sometimes you can use this foam material to act as a strip behind the pickups, because you see the original ones are microphonic, and oftentimes there's nothing in there to stop it vibrating, and that's where you get the stuff from. So this is slightly different because it says this is a J5, not a problem. Long housing, short housing. J5 is ceramic, no problem with that. J5A would be Alnico. I do like Alnico pickups, but actually nothing wrong with the ceramic. So again, the same thing, we've got the battery type of connection, we've got the output cables, we've got various connections, we've got the battery bus, the stereo jack, and that's because then when you plug it in it puts the power on. I haven't checked if there's enough space in the cavity, so let's just check. We've got those, and then what's rather nice in the box, we've got the lift up bits, and as ever it's all packed beautifully. There's 2 sets of pickup screws. I often find it's a really good idea to check and use your old screws to screw things in, because oftentimes the nuts or the heads can be stripped on these things. I'll put it over there. And what have we got in here? Wiring kit EMJ. So I'm going to need Mr. Scalpel carefully again. Where did I put Mr. Scalpel? There. And to do this without cutting the wire, so I cut by the pot, and ideally I would have got a different tub to put them in. Got enough tubs. Let's take it out. So this one here says volume, yep, so I'll put that on the left. This one here says volume, and they're both the same, so that goes there. This one here says what? Passive tone. So I'll stick that side. This is the output jack. Oh yeah, there's the bus bar. So that takes the reds for the positives and the black for the negatives, yeah. But I don't know if I need that one. I'll find out, because I know one of my 2 things in. Yeah, I think I do need that one. Oh yeah, and if you haven't got solderless, it's got the ability to screw things in, but we should be able to use the connections. As far as I know, you can't just use these on any old pickups. They have to be EMGs, but maybe I'm wrong. Active pickups. Otherwise it'd be quite nice if you could just use it to get a quieter amp. So then we've got in here, oops, the output jack, the stereo jack. I'll put that to the side there. And there was a little bit of shrouding that came out. I've got plenty of that in a box here. So it might look untidy, guys, but I know where things are, as long as no one kleptos it. Right, this is the problem last time. We've got the screws and the standoffs and the washers and the biting, the locking things. The problem you have is these are American, so there will be some sort of non-metric here, whereas the other stuff might be metric. There's another piece of shielding there. I'll put it in there. And then we've got the battery clip. Let's take that out carefully, and that's got its own bus bar. So that's why I think I was wrong, and I don't think I need this one. I have a feeling that that is covered by that setup. Then we have the black and white cables. I'll put that there, and another one the same. I'll put that next to it. And then that's the black, red and white. That's the long one, so I'll put that on the left hand side. And another black and white one, but this has got like the battery connectors on it, so I'll put that next to the black and whites. and another black, red and white, which I think is a pickup one. So I think I've got everything from memory from last time. I've got the pickups, I've got the three-way cables, I've got the battery bars, I've got the screws, the output, etc. So what I'm going to do, I won't bore you with the details, I'm just showing the unboxing. I'll whip this off and I'll cut it off and pull the pickups. I'm not going to bother to desolder it today, I haven't got time. I'm just going to cut it nippy nippy. I'll remove this thing here and I'll pull these off. Might as well do that now actually. And then I'll start on the process of connecting all together, and I will let you see what it looks like when it's basically together, and I'll give you some idea of how long it took me. I mean, this is only the second one I've ever done, and I'm not in a I am in a rush, but I'm not in a super rush here. So, you know, this isn't a professional job for me, as you can understand. Okay, I'll be back later. Thank you. Okay, so we've loosened those four screws off, just enough. Actually, I haven't cut those wires. Let me do that now. Oh, it's the wrong cutter. I can use this rather grim cutter, super cutter. So again, one of the benefits, I don't know if you see these things. Oh, I got some of these little magnetic strip things that were going quite cheap. So now, like Dave's World, I've got a thing behind me with all the tools, or the common tools in the back. I can see them as I get older. I don't know, I'll get a bit more stupid, boys and girls, but I'll cut it here because I can solder that onto the pot later, and that will show me where the wires went. Yeah. That's it, that's off. And now I've loosened the strings just enough so they can come off, and that should come out of there. It does. Better pull it out. Oh, and I'll put springs on the bottom. I'll keep those. I don't remember if I got springs. No, you don't get springs with the EMG, so keep your springs. And you can see the original pickup was a ceramic. One thing I'll do, I'll pause now and I'll tell you what the resistance of the original one was. So hang on a minute. Okay, it's really neat because everything is just where I left it. Oh, that one, 8.9. Sorry, my daughter was just knocking on the door. She's coming round pre-wedding. I think I said 8.9. Let's just check. Pretty high output actually. 8.9, yeah. So that's pretty good, and I guess maybe it's because there's 5 on there. I don't know. I will stick that in that little box there. So now I will pause and take the other one apart, and I'll give you the measurement for that. Yeah, my daughter was just knocking on the door. She said, can I let her in? I didn't realise that my son-in-law to be was there, so I didn't let him in. He said, what have I done? He's like, don't worry, mate. Haven't got to that stage yet. Right, so just getting the yellow and the black. Oh, yeah, that'll do. I can just see enough. I thought I'd nipped too much of the wire off. So what was the rear pickup? Traditionally, there's less energy back there, so I think they have to be slightly higher output, but let's see. I mean, 8.9 was pretty high. Yeah, 10.4. Wow, that's a beefy pickup, yeah. I mean, the SX pickups are pretty good. It's just that it's gone microphonic. I mean, maybe, you know, I can see I put the shielding in. That's the other thing. Maybe you can see the shielding cavity. I put it in. It's a job that I don't mind doing. I'm okay at it, but you know, not having to do it is so much more fun than doing it. Actually, I see. Oh no, I know. I thought I hadn't actually bothered to put this star joint down onto the copper, and that might have been the problem. But that's not it, because it was going into one of the strings. Let me turn it off. It was going into one of the string trees, yeah. So now I've got to work out how to pull that out. I'll put that in there. I'll need those springs later, and one of the springs you see here, I put it into the clamp that I put in. Let's get that off. I'll put that in there so I can find it. Which way is it going to come through? It doesn't matter, just pull it through. There. So I just pulled off. What I tend to use these little clamps. They're quite good. I quite like them. Your mileage may vary. And then we've got one that's going to the bridge. So what I'll do is I'll just cut that, because you don't need a bridge ground in an EMG system, which is really nice. So all this grounding is completely unnecessary. Let's just pull that off there. There we go. Get it out of there. Okay. Now I'll put it together. I mean, hopefully there won't be any problems with the existing grounding. Oh yeah, now the moment of truth. Do these things fit? LJ S. Let's put it upside down. This is the short one. Not quite. The lugs are good, but the pickup shroud needs a little bit of extra space in it. So what I'll have to do is to take the pick guard off and take just a little bit. Maybe what I'll do now, I have a pen somewhere, is mark it up. I'll get a pen and mark it up. But other than that, I think let's put it around the right way. Oh, wrong way. EMG needs to go that way. Problem with the non-fender stuff is it doesn't always fit. So actually, yeah, I can just see that the cheeks are going to need to be widened a little bit, and the hole a little bit. So I'll leave that like that. I'll mark that up. I get a cup of tea. Always the British way. Let's see about the back one. This is slightly more complex because you can see it. He looks like he's going to go straight in. Almost. Actually, he has gone. Look, he has gone in. I'm being an idiot. I'm being an idiot, boys and girls, because I'm pushing it down to get it in. It's quite a tight fit, but of course, it's got to be close to the strings. EMGs, you put them closer to the strings because they don't have quite the magnetic pull of... in some respects, they're lower magnetism, but higher output because of the electronics. So you can put them closer to the string, you know, not enough that it obviously vibrates against it, but that should be okay. So that should be okay. It's just this one I've got to do. So what I'll do, cup of tea, right around that. I'll get the file out, maybe the Dremel. Just needs a little bit of lemon. It's just not quite right. What a bummer. Okay, I'll get on with that and I'll be back later. Thank you. Okay, so what we had to do, standard half-cut bastard file. Oops, my tower is falling down. The tower of cleanliness, people that know me. I've put them all in boxes here, yeah. Everything's got clean or organized, yeah. Anyway, I just needed to use the half rounded file, and I took a little bit out of one side, I marked it up, and a little bit out of this edge there, but now you can see the thing goes through. I ripped out all the shielding there. In fact, I'm going to rip the shielding out here as well, because it's just not necessary on an EMG. And that's one thing I really like about it. As I said, I'm not claiming to be rich, I'm not poor. So my time is worth a lot to me now. I'm sorry if I waste your time watching my crap videos, yeah. But what I'm saying is that I much rather buy a better engineered piece of kit like an EMG system than dick around with this, which was all good fun when I was younger. When you don't have the money or you want to learn something new. And it looks like I did quite a good job here, actually. Whoa, oh shit, I forgot. I put the screws in there as a special safety hole. Mental note, boys and girls. When you do something different to normal, mind yourself of your policy. So I think I got all the screws out there. But anyway, I'm just pulling the copper off because I don't want that to get in any way messed up with the EMG system. It's just not necessary. It's so much cleaner. And the good thing about SX, at least on the front pickups, or the two jazz basses that I've had from them, they always seem to leave enough space for a slightly wider 38mm if you want to put that in. On the Steinberger copy, the Gibson Steinberger re-release, I had to route that. I didn't do a particularly good job of it, but as I said, that's not the aim here. It's Billy Sheenan turned me on to the fact that, you know, if it's customer's guitar, I don't have customers, fair enough, but his point is it's just a tool, and he's absolutely right, yeah. It took me longer to get the thing off than it took to put it on. Right, so I'll get that off there, and it looks like it's going to go in what I don't know yet is whether the battery will fit in there. That might be the bummer. And actually look at the control plate. There's a little bit of wriggle room, not much though. You see, the route is quite narrow there, and this is a bit wider, so I might have to carefully mark it up and route something. But at the moment, let's carry on with that. Okay, back in a minute. Okay, so I've put the pots in roughly. I put them as high up as they'll go, so to speak. Yeah, so they're most gap in the cavity rather. It doesn't fit. So the blue SX base did. This one is close, but it will have to do for Sunday, and then I'll do what my friend Snifter does. I'll get one of those box things and drill out or route out somewhere. But that'll do for the minute. There's a sort of 2mm gap or something. So let's crack on, because I need to get the sound test. Okay, so that's the first razor snag that I've hit. Okay, so we've followed the instructions. It's not too bad. You just piggyback. The hardest thing is working out which way round. There's like a little, the silver bits, the DuPont connectors. You can see them on the top, yeah. And there's a little arrow, and that, if that's facing up, you just put it in the middle, or basically every other one it goes into, and they sort of just piggyback into each other, a bit like a jazz bass. So now let's turn the front one up. Turn that one down. Hello. Yeah, there's something there. Let's just turn them both down. So tap that, nothing. Turn the back one up. Wait a minute, am I touching something? Oh, I'm touching something. Back one, nothing at the front. Turn that one down. Front one, nothing at the back. Might need to, let's just check that. Tone up, tone down. Tone up. The front and back. Front one down. Yeah, we're just picking up the strings there. That's the rear one. Rear one down, nothing. Front one up. So, okay, that's working. So now it's a case of putting it back together. It will have to stick up the battery at the minute. Nothing I can do about that. I mean, I could route it, but I'm not sure how much space is there. So the better thing is to get the router tool, the router, the battery box and that, and do it that way. So that will be next. Okay, let's plug it back together. Okay, so they're in. It's a lot quieter under the thingy. This is with the amp on the modeler. Turn the tone down. But I don't think this middle one's working at the minute. If I turn it all the way down, no, it is, but it's no. So that's not working. I've got to take that apart, see if it's the way I've installed it, or if there's a problem with that, and I'll go back to EMG with that. But the front one's working. So yeah, mixed bag. But I mean, it's really quiet now. Well, of course it's quiet there, but so it's really quite a rest, even with a high output. I'll check that because it was a bit weird earlier. Still on the microphonicness of it, in spite of the foam I put on there. So I don't have to look into that. Maybe I need a less dense foam. But yeah, I'm very pleased with these, apart from the fact that I need to do something with the battery, because you see it doesn't fit the cavity at the minute because there isn't enough gap for it. So I'll get a battery route, I'll take that off and check that out, and yeah, okay, thank you and bye bye. Okay, so a brief investigation as to why the middle pot wasn't working. If you can see, it's loose, the DuPont's loose. Now lucky you get a spare one, so let me just try that and see if that makes a difference. Actually, it's not as simple as I said, because I didn't realise, being a bit colourblind, this is the red, black, white one. So they don't give you a spare one of them. So I'm going to have to send in the evidence to Tolman and say, hey man, can you send me a spare one? I've done a gash fix for the minute, but that's not right. I shouldn't have to do that out of the box, yeah. Anyway, such is life. It's a little bit okay. Let's see how it goes when I do that. Yeah, that seems to be the fix. Look, I do that and then I'll move this. So that was the problem. It actually pulled out of the DuPont. I suppose I have read people talk about that. So it's only my second one, and that's the first time I've seen that. I do have a DuPont crimping system here somewhere, so if push comes to shove, I'll make my own. But let's see. Okay, so these are just the raw pickups going through the system. Let's just play a bit of background music. Quite a nice sustain. So that's quite a nice sustain, and it's quiet as anything, yeah. You can just hear a sort of, but nothing compared to what it was earlier. Just at rest, yeah. So I quite like these things. I think we'll give them a go, yeah. It should be okay. The only problem I've got now is just the battery don't fit, so it's sticking out a little bit. I can deal with that. If it needed a Faraday cage, this would be a real deal breaker. Because it's quiet at rest, it doesn't matter. Pickup heights are okay. And yeah, I mean, I quite like them. I mean, we had the problem with the dodgy cable. I've sort of hacked that. Yeah, I'll edit this video and wish me luck for playing my daughter's wedding. Okay, I'm gonna need it. Cheers, bye.